What's going on, everybody? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Let's dive right into today's video because there's a bunch going on. So first up, shared by Cointelegraph, we have most G7 central banks have policy meetings this week. Basically all dates from yesterday, today, up until March 19th. So we have the Reserve Bank of Australia, the Federal Reserve, Bank of Canada, Bank of Japan, Bank of England, the European Central Bank, and the Swiss National Bank. And Cointelegraph even says, markets have not seen a global policy calendar this crowded since December of 2021. Expect volatility. Alright, next up, I also want to come back to this video I uploaded on my other channel back in February of 2020, if you guys remember Ross Vandermeer, and just everything he said about Trump and gold and oil in the Middle East. And I kind of want to look at this entire transcript of this video they put out and kind of cross-reference with what we've seen thus far, because it's just really strange and very exciting. Alright, next up, we had a really interesting post by Ripple yesterday on March 16th, and even more interesting is this shared by Sal, along with Neats Bucks making a comment right here. So the last time that we saw one of these whiteboards in a video from the company Ripple, some of the info was announced months later. We have XRP in between JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and other banks as part of the 2026 plan is certainly an intentional marketing choice. So we've shared by Sal, the digital marketplace is important to the future of Ripple. So this is related to the company i-payout and Ripple working together to deliver real-time payments in the United States and Canada. So going to the original post, I just want to fast forward through this video. It's only 24 seconds, but we're just going to look at the actual whiteboard just to look and see XRP at the center, and then we have JP Morgan right there. We'll keep scrolling a little bit. So we have Sender's Bank on the left. I cannot see what that one is, so if you guys know, please let me know. Yeah, Sender's Bank, we have WF, Marketplace, Mid-Small Bank, AI Enterprise, and Regulatory License. But yeah, super interesting, and if you guys want to check out the full customer case study, Ripple linked it, I also retweeted it. So basically, i-payout is a global payments platform that enables businesses to deliver fast, compliant payouts to workers, merchants, and partners worldwide through a unified API infrastructure. And once again, bear with me because my voice is going in and out, so I usually just trim these clips together. So they're going to be leveraging and integrating Ripple payments, and then a little more information down below. i-payout was founded back in 2007, and they account for over 40% of global economic activity reachable through US payout infrastructure. So this is all about cross-border payouts into the United States and Canada. And once again, people say that Ripple doesn't care about XRP, yet in every single whiteboard we always see XRP at the very center. Alright, next up, we had some really big news come out today for the company Ripple in a VASP or Virtual Asset Service Provider's License application in Brazil, but first I wanted to go over these things. So we have by Cointelegraph, OpenSea CEO announces that the C token launch is postponed from its March 30th date, citing challenges in market conditions. And apologies if you can hear the plane in the background. But I just wanted to point out that it's really interesting that OpenSea is launching a token, but they are waiting due to market conditions. Everybody wants to launch at the best possible time. They don't want to launch during huge periods of global uncertainty and World War III. Ideally, they want their price to go up. We also had this shared by Cointelegraph. So we have, according to a crypto quant analyst, Bitcoin's exchange whale ratio has reached a 6-year high, signaling strong accumulation and a potential market bottom. So we can see the exchange whale ratio down below, and we can see right there, close to a market bottom. Right there, I mean, I guess it's kind of close to a market bottom, even though we ranged a bit longer. We had right there, a bit of a market bottom before retracement, and then right there. And looking at this, I mean, this looks like the highest it's been compared to all the past data. Alright, next up, we're going to go over this because this just came out today for the company Ripple with Brazil and this VASP license application, but I want to go over this first with Ripple the company and MasterCard, the crypto partner program, and then MasterCard even commenting down below, fueling the future of the digital payment world. And this tweet by Alex Cobb definitely made me laugh to myself. So scrolling up and just kind of reading what Ripple says, digital assets are moving from experimentation to real-world use. We see collaboration across the ecosystem as key to connecting on-chain innovation with trusted global payments infrastructure. Initiatives like the MasterCard Crypto Partner Program help bring builders, networks, and financial institutions closer together. So now reading this, digital assets are entering a new phase, and this is from MasterCard. What once ran in parallel to existing financial systems is increasingly being applied to solve practical, real-world needs, often behind the scenes. Going over cross-border remittance to B2B money transfers, this creates new opportunities to add value in how money moves globally. So we have this MasterCard Crypto Partner Program, a global initiative bringing together more than 85 crypto-native companies. So that's definitely something to consider, and I remember years ago people said, oh, Ripple and MasterCard aren't working together. They absolutely were. So we had Ripple the company put this out today. We have Ripple is going all in on Brazil, one of the BRICS nations, highlighting Ripple payments with over $100 billion processed, over 60 plus markets, live with a variety of banks. How do you even pronounce that? Banco Genial, Bank, Nomad, Asify, and more. We have Ripple Custody recently launching in Brazil with CRX. We have Ripple Treasury, decades of corporate treasury management expertise, and the Ripple stablecoin surpassing over $1.5 billion in market cap. Live with Mercado Bitcoin, Foxbit, and Ripio, that other Latin American app. And notice right here, one provider, the complete financial stack. And that's what we were saying in the previous video. This is all about one single platform, one unified system for everything. Alright, now just a little background. It is so hard to explain in a single video everything that Ripple the company's been doing. Ripple Payments is expanding, Ripple Custody is expanding. They're getting licenses in a variety of countries. They're doing a full court press. So remember, this month we had Ripple the company to secure an Australian financial services license, expanding payments and Ripple payments in Australia. Even mentioning that Ripple is going to be obtaining this license through the proposed acquisition of BC Payments Australia, and now this was, I believe, Banking Circle. We also had this in January, Ripple the company expanding European regulatory footprint with the preliminary EMI approval in Luxembourg. And I believe this already went through. There might be a more recent blog, but I'm not going to sit here and Google every single thing. We've already gone through this. And then we also had this, Ripple receiving FCA permission to scale Ripple payments in the United Kingdom. So point being is that Ripple, their entire tech stack, is expanding. So with the company Ripple, we have payments, we have custody, which is Ripple Custody, we have stablecoin and the Ripple US dollar, we have Ripple Prime with the Prime brokerage and treasury management all coming together to serve the full financial stack for institutions. We have Ripple is now the only solution in the region, referring to Brazil, capable of serving institutions across the full spectrum of financial needs, cross-border payments, digital asset custody. We have prime brokerage and treasury management. We have Ripple is planning to apply for a virtual asset service provider license with the Central Bank of Brazil, BCB. And as we go further down, we have a variety of different institutions in Brazil working with the company Ripple, Banco Genial, Bank, Nomad, Asify, and more, all related to the XRP ledger, the Ripple US dollar, cross-border payments, you get it. We have Ripple Custody expanding into Brazil. I would be curious how many countries Ripple Custody's expanded into thus far. And then down below, we have CRX, a Ripple partner, leveraging the XRP ledger and Ripple Custody to issue and deliver tokenized assets at scale with nearly $100 million settled on-chain. And then we have this, Just Token. So we can actually see this on the rwa.xyz website. You can go to the XRP ledger, searching it up top. And then when we scroll down, we can see in the league table, when you click all, Just Token, $861 million. And as we scroll further down, we have Just Token, and the asset class is commodities. And they say with over $1.7 billion in assets already tokenized on the XRP ledger, so I'd be curious where to see all that $1.7 billion. Just Token will use Ripple Custody to build institutional-grade infrastructure for natural resources RWA tokenization in Latin America. And then just highlighting a new standard for stablecoin trust and utility in the region with the Ripple US dollar. This is a monster blog. I mean, going through all these groups, we have Ripple Prime and Ripple Treasury as well. We already discussed Hidden Road. We can see serving or clearing over $3 trillion annually, being analogous to CLS, basically the foreign exchange framework today that processes not $3 trillion annually, but $1.5 quadrillion, on average $7 trillion per day. And we know that everything's going to be tokenized in the future, so the potential is massive. And that's really what I want to emphasize is, the first decade of 2010 to 2020 for the crypto space and digital assets, it was discovery, speculation, experimentation. And now this decade is regulation and infrastructure. And even looking at Lamax Group, I know we went over this a bunch, and this came out in January with Ripple partnering with them, even funding with $150 million in financing. In Lamax's marketplace, we have the Ripple US dollar serving as collateral, using the Ripple US dollar as margin funding, etc. I just want to emphasize, as we zoom in here, this partnership is very big, because we can see for Lamax Group last year, they saw $8.2 trillion in institutional exchange volumes. So now we have Ripple the company working with this organization and the Ripple US dollar being used along with Ripple Prime. And a quick reminder for everybody, so nobody watching my videos misses this, we have our 2025 Roth IRA deadline coming up quick on April 15th. So for everybody that may have a Roth IRA or somebody that wants to start one, now is the perfect time. We can see our 2025 limits are $7,000 if you are under 50 years old and up to $8,000 if you're over 50. And then 2026, this year, that increases. And I've been with iTrustCapital for over 6 years, and I highly recommend every US resident to get started. Put in your email, check out the dashboard, and whenever you fund your account, you get a $100 funding bonus. We have nearly 100 different assets on the platform, crypto assets and gold and silver. And I don't know about you, but in 5 years, in 20 years, depending on how old or young you are, imagine where this portfolio could be for tax-free growth using a Roth IRA. And if you have any doubts with the Roth IRA, I don't know what to tell you. It's one of the most powerful investment vehicles available. Talk to your parents, your grandparents, anybody that's had a Roth IRA for years and years and years, whether they contributed early and did nothing or contributed every single year. I can't emphasize enough how powerful it is. So this is linked in the top of the YouTube video description and the first link in my link tree. Be sure to get started. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. A huge thank you to all to hit the like button and leave a comment down below for the algorithm, and I will catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.